Chase Elliott didn't need a race car to win this one. He didn't need horsepower, pit strategy, or a last lap bump to make history, because this story didn't happen at 200 miles per hour. It happened under the spotlights, not floodlights, in a ballroom instead of a speedway. NASCAR's annual awards banquet, a night of celebration, trophies, and polished smiles. But for one man, it became a reminder of everything he's lost. Denny Hamlin walked into that banquet hall still carrying the invisible weight of Phoenix. Just days earlier, he'd lived through what might be the cruelest twist of his career. For 208 of 312 laps, he owned that track. Phoenix Raceway was his to lose, and he did everything right. The perfect setup, the perfect balance, calm on the radio, clean pit stops. That kind of control doesn't just happen by luck. That's 20 years of experience, precision, and grit. Hamlin looked like a man finally breaking his own curse, the one that's haunted him since his rookie days. But in NASCAR, dominance can vanish in a heartbeat. With 15 laps to go, a caution flag waved, a piece of debris, a tire gone down. Just like that, everything reset. The field bunched up, strategies split, and in a flash, Hamlin's night turned into another heartbreak. He lost the lead, then the rhythm, and by the checkered flag, the only thing he held was frustration. For fans, it was another wild finish. For Denny, it was another scar. He's been chasing that championship for 2 decades. 60 career wins, 3 Daytona 500 victories, consistency that rivals any driver on the grid. And yet, every season ends the same way. Close, but not enough. Every year he rebuilds, refocuses, and tells himself, next time, but next time never seems to arrive. So when he showed up in Nashville, dressed sharp, calm, and composed, there was still a flicker of hope in his eyes. Not for redemption, not for revenge, just for recognition, because there was one more title up for grabs that night, NASCAR's NMP Most Popular Driver. And for once, this wasn't about speed, it was about the fans. Hamlin wasn't delusional. He knew he wasn't the fan favorite. But this year felt different. His performances were strong. His podcast was connecting with audiences. He was showing more personality, opening up, being human. Maybe, just maybe, the fans would finally see him for who he really was. Not the villain, not the loudmouth, but the guy who's given everything to this sport. He even said it himself. I don't know that I've ever even been in the top 10 before. That in itself is a shock. I don't know what's changed, but I appreciate it. You could hear it in his voice, quiet hope mixed with exhaustion. But when the announcement came, the room didn't just lean toward Chase Elliott. It collapsed into his arms. Your 2025 most popular driver, Chase Elliott. The applause was thunder. The cheers didn't stop. It wasn't even close. 8 years in a row. 8th. That's a number only legends touch. Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Richard Petty. Chase didn't just win an award. He cemented himself as the face of NASCAR once again. And the irony? Chase hadn't even had a dominant season. He didn't win the championship. He didn't lead the most laps. But he didn't need to. The fans love him because he represents something bigger, something pure. He's the son of a NASCAR legend, Bill Elliott, raised in Dawsonville, Georgia, built from the heart of racing country. He's polite, grounded, and soft-spoken, the kind of person who shakes your hand and looks you in the eye. Fans don't just like him, they trust him. When Chase took the stage, the contrast couldn't have been sharper. No swagger, no bravado, just sincerity. "Thank you for the votes," he began. "Thank you for taking the time out of your day to support us and support me in that way." His tone wasn't commanding, it was comforting. He spoke like someone who understood that his success was built on others. And then he added something that hit even harder. "It's so much more than the votes," he said. "It's about the people and the support I get to see firsthand. It blows me away every year to travel across the country and see just how passionate people are about what we're doing. That right there is why he wins it every time." Chase doesn't talk about himself. He talks about the fans. The connection feels real because it is real. He's not selling them something, he's thanking them. That's a rare kind of authenticity in modern sports. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin stood in the shadows, clapping like a professional, but you could almost feel the sting. The man who has spent decades trying to earn that kind of affection was watching another driver receive it effortlessly. Chase Elliott doesn't have to prove he's loved. He just is. And for Hamlin, that's the one race he can't win. It's not that Denny's the villain by design, he's just unfiltered. He says what he thinks, and in a sport that's built on image, that honesty often gets twisted. He's the driver who'll call out rivals, question officials, and shrug off boos like background noise. But deep down, that noise gets loud. Because while Chase is showered with cheers after a DNF, Hamlin gets booed even when he's on the podium. Elliott wrapped up his speech with a warmth that felt like sunlight in that ballroom. I know this year had a couple high spots, but I'm always looking to bring you guys more. I want to give you something to be proud of each and every week. I'm excited to do more of that next year. The crowd erupted again. Cameras flashed. It wasn't just appreciation, it was adoration. For Denny, that must have hurt more than any spin-out or blown engine ever could, because Chase wasn't just winning a popularity vote, he was winning hearts, one by one, with no burnout, no champagne, no confetti, just words. And that's the cruelest irony. In a sport obsessed with speed, the biggest victory of the year didn't come from the fastest car. It came from the slowest moment, a heartfelt thank you. When the night ended, Chase Elliott didn't walk out with just a trophy. He walked out as the heartbeat of NASCAR, the guy everyone cheers for, the symbol of the sport's future. And Denny Hamlin? He walked out carrying a silence that felt heavier than any loss on track. Because how do you compete with love? That's the question now. In NASCAR, what really matters? Is it speed and skill, or connection and character? Denny Hamlin has everything it takes to win races, but Chase Elliott has everything it takes to win people, and that's something no amount of laps can earn. As Hamlin heads into yet another offseason, the questions will follow him. Can he still be the guy who commands attention even when he's not loved? Can he finally find peace without fan validation? Because while he's chasing that elusive championship, Chase Elliott's already captured something bigger, loyalty. And that's what makes this story sting. Because when the lights dimmed and the crowd cleared, Hamlin didn't just lose to Chase Elliott. He lost to the idea of Chase Elliott, the clean-cut, grounded, fan-loved hero NASCAR needs. So maybe this isn't about Denny's failure. Maybe it's about what Chase represents: tradition, respect, the bond between driver and fan that still fuels this sport after 75 years. That's why fans pack the stands, why they wear the 9 on their shirts, and why they'll scream his name long after the engines go quiet. So, as 2025 ends, Chase Elliott once again proves that the loudest sound in NASCAR isn't the roar of the engines, it's the roar of the fans. Because when they choose you, it means more than any trophy ever could. And Denny Hamlin, he'll be back. He always comes back. Maybe next year, he'll finally break the curse, win the title, or just find peace with who he is. But until then, Chase Elliott holds the crown, not because of speed, but because of heart. So, what do you think matters more now, horsepower or heart? Let me know in the comments below. Because in NASCAR's new era, Chase Elliott just proved one thing beyond question. In this sport, love is the ultimate victory.